Yes guys, welcome back to another video here on the Andy#1 channel. Today's video is another video in the training solo series. It's another video to help you stay sharp, stay fit, do a bit of goalkeeping on your own while we're in lockdown in quarantine. Today's video is 5 exercises that you can do with a rebounder. So let's get into it. Before we get going, we are very close to 25,000 subscribers. What I found out is that a large proportion, about 70% of people who watch videos aren't subscribed. Why are you not subscribed? Make sure you subscribe. Click that link, click that notification bell, and then you'll get all the videos straight into your inbox. Right, let's get into it. Right, so the first exercise we're going to look at is KEEPY UPPIES. Simply keep the ball off the ground. Don't let it touch the ground. It's a great warm-up, works on your touch. Make sure you use your right foot and your left foot, and then use the rebounder every now and again just to get the ball back off it in order to work on your touch just that little bit more. Like I say, it's a really good warm-up. It gets your feet moving, gets you comfortable with the ball, gets you touching the ball as much as possible. Great to start off the exercises. Now, if you did want to make it harder, start limiting your touches. In this instance, we're saying play 3 touch. So 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, back off the rebounder. Makes it that little bit more difficult. You can, of course, make it even more difficult and go to 2 touch and 1 touch. Start testing yourself as soon as you start to get comfortable with the ball and you get comfortable with your touch. Fantastic warm-up. Great footwork. So the second exercise we're going to look at here is a bit of hand-eye coordination. We're going to start on our knees and start off with, we're going to have a one-hand catch. In this instance, I'm using my right hand, so it's just throw against the rebounder and catch. Accurate throw, solid catch, hand-eye coordination. Can you make sure that as you throw the ball, you're watching it all the way and then it's back into that hand, so one-hand catch. Of course, if you use your right hand, you've got to be able to use your left hand as well. So make sure you are using both your right hand and your left hand. Make sure that if you are dominant in one or the other, you're practicing the other one just as much. You've got to be good with your right hand and good with your left hand, of course. Now, you can make this more difficult. You can throw it harder, you can throw it softer, change it around a little bit, makes it more difficult. Now, to move this on, we're now going to throw right hand to left hand to right hand, so it's more of a diagonal. Makes it a little bit more difficult, but again, you're using both hands. Make sure you're using right hand and your left hand. Make sure you've got the accurate throw. This time you're going to be aiming right in the middle of the rebounder to make sure that you're catching the ball with your right hand and your left hand. Now, you can again make this a little bit more difficult. You can throw it harder, throw it as hard as you can, see if you can catch it, or you can throw it softer. Right now, we can change the pattern, so it's left hand and left hand, so you're throwing it straight, then throw the diagonal. So it's the right hand, and the diagonal. Straight, and diagonal. It means that you've got to be more accurate with your throwing here, and of course, you've got to make sure that you get a good one-handed catch at the end of it. Again, it's a little bit more difficult, it's just moving it on a little bit more, but again, still in the warm-up phase, it's nice and good hand-eye coordination. These the kind of little things will make a big difference later on, trust me. Good for hand-eye coordination. All right, again, still left hand, and then across, right hand. Right, move this on again. We're going to be looking at that W technique just above head height. We're going to be using 2 hands, and this is good good catching technique. So we're just going to look simply at how we're catching the ball, making sure we've got the thumbs nice and close together, palms open wide, and we're going to be making a good solid catch. So we're throwing it from head height, the ball's coming back at head height again, and we're going to make sure we're taking a good catch at the end of it. Again, if we want to make that a little bit more difficult, we're going to add a little bit of movement. So we're going to start from the right and then make sure we're getting that diagonal again. So now we're just moving slightly to the right, slightly to the left. We're going to try and take that ball right in front of our face so we can see it nicely. We're going to see it all the way in. We're going to make a good solid catch. Hands are out in front, thumbs close together, fingers are spread out, and it's a good solid catch at the end. Okay, so the third exercise now, we're going to move this on one step further. We're going to be standing up, we're looking at handling. So here we're just throwing the ball using our right hand, using our left hand against the rebounder and taking a good solid catch at the end of it. No movement at the minute, just nice and simply throwing the ball against the rebounder, catching it. Now, depending on obviously where you're throwing it against the rebounder, depending on the angle of the rebounder, depends on how high it will come up afterwards. At this point, I seem to be throwing the ball quite low and it's coming up quite high, so I'm using a good solid W catch. It's above and around my head height in order to take this catch. Change the service about. It then changes the catch, changes the technique at the end of it. An overthrow, kind of javelin throw here, means that it comes down lower, so you've got to use a basket. Throw, kick it as well. Here we go. Practicing kicking, again, dependent on where you're hitting the rebounder, depends on the angle of the rebounder, depends on the type of catch that you're going to make after. Challenge yourself, change it up a little bit, but work on your handling at all times. Make sure you get a good, solid catch at the end of it. This obviously works on your distribution as well. You've got to be accurate with your kicking, so it gives an extra dimension to the practice. You're now practicing your kicking as well as your catching. Right, going to move this on, and now we're going to add in some lateral movement. We're looking for short, sharp feet as we're going across there. We've got 2 cones out there. They're most probably about 2 yards each from the middle, so 4 yards in total. And we're just going to move, get that throw in the middle, move to the cone, move back to the middle. Nice short, sharp movement, using right hand, using left hand in order to throw the ball against the rebounder. And again, we're just going to make sure that we're taking a good, solid catch at the end of it. As we're moving, we're going to travel and try and keep our feet as close to the ground as possible. We're going to be using a small, sharp movements with the feet. This means that we're trying to get in line with the ball. This is what we're trying to replicate in a game, is that movement into line and these small little adjustments that need to be done. So we're going to make sure that we're trying to move as fast as we can, moving as efficiently as we can between the cones, get that throw, make sure we've got a good catch at the end of it. Exercise 4 is a diving exercise. So now we're going to look at the type of movement that we were doing before, and we're going to move it on a step further. We're going to add in a dive as well for that. So the movement is slightly different here between the cones. We're going to go around the front of the cone, out of the back of the cone before we're going to throw the ball and make our dive. We're going through it this way because then that encourages that forward dive that we're talking about in a previous solo training video. So we're going to go around the front of the cone to then come to the back, and then we're going to step into the dive to make sure that we're diving in that forward momentum, a forward angle, like a 30 to 45 degree angle, to make sure that if we do spill it, if we do have to parry, we parry the ball forwards, out and away from the goal. It doesn't go backwards, it doesn't go into the net. So again, we're looking at that really short, sharp movements of the feet, keeping close to the ground as possible. So if we do need to change direction, we can do. And then that throw has got to be accurate. And then the dive, we're looking at trying to get 2 hands on the ball, making sure we're in that W position, making sure that we're moving over our leg, and then make it a good, solid catch. Exercise 5 is high balls. So slightly different setup here. We're going to be starting off straight onto the rebounder. We're going to be moving further back, and we're going to try and throw the ball, hit the rebounder, so then it pops up. So then we have to come and claim a high ball. So on this, we've got to make sure that obviously first of all, our distribution is good. So our aim towards the rebounder is good. We're going to try and hit it in the middle. Depending on the angle of the rebounder will depend on how high you can get the ball. Then it's all about the timing of our jump. Can we make sure that we're timing it correctly? We're taking that ball at the very highest point. And then when we're taking off, let's practice both left foot and right foot taking off, and make sure that your opposite knee is driving through and then driving that momentum up to take that ball at the highest point. Make sure your timing's right. Timer was slightly off there, so I had to have a really big stretch. If we're going to move this on, it's now changing the angle. So instead of it coming straight onto the ball, we're going to look at more of a sideways movement to take the ball as if now it's a cross. So we're going to start off with our chest nice and open to the ball. We're going to throw the ball against the rebounder, and then we're going to take off on our opposite leg, get up, take the ball again, highest point, as if now we're taking a cross. Changes it up slightly to make sure we practice both straight on balls and also angled balls as well, making sure we practice both taking off left foot and taking off right foot as well. Bonus exercise, low balls. It's not 5 exercises, it's actually 6. So this time I've had to change the rebounder, so now it's more on its side rather than on its ends, and it's an underarm throw. Again, getting that angle because of the rebounder now being straight up, it's going to come down. So underarm throw gets the ball to go down. You might get a couple of bounces in there. You've got to read the bounce, read what's going on the grass here, making sure you get full body behind the ball. Get down to the ball, don't let your knee touch the ground, but when it's down, fingertips together, take the ball, cup it in. Right guys, hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have, make sure to drop a like on it. If you haven't subscribed already, why not? Let's see if we can get to 25,000 subscribers. There's 5 exercises that you can do at home with a rebounder in your back garden to help you stay sharp, stay fit, do some goalkeeping more in lockdown. Stay tuned, more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching.